Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine and have gone through the previous video. In the previous lecture, beta, we started chapter number 4, that is Heredity and Evolution, and I told you that some of the basic concepts of evolution have been deleted from the syllabus. So we started with the concepts of heredity. In the previous video, we discussed about what does it mean by heredity. Heredity means continuity of features, passing of characters, transmission of characters or traits from the parents to their offsprings. In the most simple terms, it means continuation of characters from generation to generation. Later in the chapter, I told you what is the importance of variations. What does it mean by variations? We considered the example of differences in various characters like human height, earlobe, being attached or being free. But I gave you a more significant example in which we discussed that variation may not be beneficial for a particular organism, but it is beneficial for the survival of a particular species. Now, before starting Mendel's laws of inheritance, we need to discuss some of the terms. In today's video, I'll be explaining you these terms only so that there is no confusion and your concepts are clear. What does it mean by trait? Any recognizable character, height, complexion, shape of nose, shape of chin, ear color, eyeball color, hair color, not ear color. So these are the characters. If we talk about plant, if we talk about Mendel's experiment, in the pea plant he discussed 7 characters. He carried out experiments on 7 characters. Height of the plant, color of the flower, color of the seed, color of the pod. So these are the traits or the characters. Now what is a chromosome? The thread-like structures present in the nucleus of a cell is called that when these thread-like structures are intermingled with each other, we call it as chromatin network. But when they get separated and become rod-like structures, we call them as chromosomes. These chromosomes are made up of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and carry the genes. Genes are nothing but the hereditary units और the segments of DNA जो क्रोमोसोम पर present हैं. Genes are actually the units of heredity, that is the segments of DNA on the chromosome which code for a particular protein. When the gene gets transcribed into the protein, then its expression is justified. These genes always work in pairs. Pairs में काम करते हैं. One of which is the dominant, the other one is the recessive. When these genes are present on the pair of the chromosome के pairs पर present होते हैं. One of the chromosome carries the alternate gene. These forms of a single gene are called its alleles. For example, if we talk about height, तो height को कोड करने के लिए, height is a character which is coded by the 2 alleles, that is the tallness and dwarfness. Tallness and dwarfness are the forms of a same gene that decides the height of an organism. Then comes What is the dominant gene and what is the recessive gene? The gene which decides the appearance of a trait even in the presence of an alternate gene is called a dominant gene. As I told you, these genes work in pairs. तो ऐसा जीन जो अपने कैरेक्टर को प्रेजेंट करेगा, एक्सप्रेस करेगा, सेम जीन के प्रेजेंस में भी या alternate gene की presence में भी, then such a gene is called as dominant gene. जी हाइट को कोड करने वाली जीन है, उस जीन की दो फॉर्म्स हैं, टॉलनेस और ड्वार्फनेस. टॉलनेस इज डिनोटेड बाय कैपिटल टी, dwarfness is denoted by small t. Capital T is the dominant gene because इसके साथ चाहे दूसरे क्रोमोसोम पर पेयर में सेकेंड क्रोमोसोम पर कैपिटल टी प्रेजेंट है, चाहे स्मॉल टी प्रेजेंट है, तो हमेशा पर्सन की हाइट टॉल ही होगी. But on the other hand, the gene which decides the expression only in the presence of another identical gene, such a gene is called recessive. प्लांट की हाइट ड्वार्फ तभी होगी जब क्रोमोसोम पेयर के दोनों ही क्रोमैटिड्स पर स्मॉल टी प्रेजेंट होगा. अगर कैपिटल टी के साथ स्मॉल टी आ रहा है तो ये जो जीन है, ड्वार्फनेस जो कैरेक्टर है, वो एक्सप्रेस नहीं होगा, सिर्फ टॉलनेस एक्सप्रेस होगा. दैट इज वाई टॉलनेस इज अ डोमिनेंट जीन. बट ड्वार्फनेस उस केस में एक्सप्रेस होगा when both the alleles are small t. Phenotype, the external appearance. बाहर से देखने में पी प्लांट्स आपको टॉल लग रहे हैं या पी प्लांट्स आपको ड्वार्फ लग रहे हैं, इट इज द phenotype. But tall can be tall due to capital T also, and tall plant can be the tall due to the capital T small t also. So the genetic constitution is called the genotype. इसे हम बोलते हैं homozygous tall because both the chromosomes carry the same allele. This is called as हेट्रोजाइगस टॉल. बट फिनोटाइप दोनों का टॉलनेस है, जीनोटाइप इज डिफरेंट. व्हाट इज F1 जनरेशन? व्हेन द पेरेंट्स ब्रीड या क्रॉस करते हैं, देन द फर्स्ट प्रोजेनी विच इज ऑब्टेन्ड इज द F1 जनरेशन. व्हेन द ऑफस्प्रिंग्स ऑफ F1 जनरेशन breed, they produce the next generation which is called as F2 generation. F1 generation is also known as first filial generation and F2 generation is also known as second filial generation. Then comes, here you can understand it in a better way, mother and father are the parental generation. Children or offspring are the F1 generation, but their grandchildren are the F2 generation or second filial generation. Here you will be able to understand all the characters are transmitted to the progeny through gametes. These gametes carry the chromosomes, but one chromosome from each parent comes and forms a chromosome pair. Look at this picture, this diagram. This is a chromosome pair in which gene for capital T is present on one, gene for small t is present on another. Capital T and small t, these two are the different forms of same gene, and these different forms of same gene are known as alleles. Progeny inherits two genes, but the expression depends on whether the inherited gene is dominant or recessive. This I told you. Ki tall would be capital T also, and tall can be capital T, small t also. But dwarf is small t only. Here you need to understand बेटे, ये क्रोमोसोम पेयर एक पेरेंट का है, एक और ऐसा क्रोमोसोम पेयर इमेजिन करो जो दूसरे पेरेंट का है. देयर आर ऑलवेज द चांसेस, सपोज वी हैव टेकन कि गैमेट्स में पेरेंट मेल प्लांट से capital T is crossed with the dwarf female plant. One of the gene will come from here, other will come from the female. The offspring will have genotype capital T small t, but वो दिखेगा कैसा? What would be its expression? It would be tall only. Fine. Parental generation, F1 generation. I hope with this example that some of the terms are clear. But still, I would suggest that when we will be discussing laws of inheritance, then I will discuss these crosses in detail. This is all about today. You go through all these topics, all these terms thoroughly and revise the chapter. Thank you.